everyone, I'm Lidia. I'm a product manager here on Google Play, and it's fantastic to have you all here with us today in Brussels. So, as I'm sure all of you have heard in the keynote, the way users are connecting with your apps is fundamentally changing, and we want to talk to you about the ways in which this is changing and how you can evolve with it. People discover and engage with apps in many new different ways, and we at Play, of course, are evolving with it as well. As, again, you've heard in the keynote, Play Store is no longer just a destination that is purely transactional. People no longer just come to the Play Store, find an app, download it, and leave. People keep coming every single day to discover new content in the apps they already have installed, and it's becoming very much a dynamic end-to-end experience for them. And that's something we are trying to create for them, so they do keep coming back, do keep engaging with the content for both new apps, but also for the apps they already have installed on their devices. And of course, the goal of all this engagement and increased engagement in the store is for us to help convert it into revenue growth for you. Now, again, in the keynote, we've mentioned the use of AI across all the different experiences that we're introducing on the Play Store. Generative AI is making experiences for users more relevant and more contextual. You've heard about the guided search, where we understand better the context that the user is in and help them show the search results that are more relevant and more useful for them. We've also introduced a free-form Q&A, where before downloading the app, if a user wants to know more about what the app does have to offer, they can type in free-form question about the content of the app and get a useful answer about what they might expect upon a download. So today we're going to show you how to master the entire life cycle, not just from the initial install, but then engagement and loyalty with all the tools that we have on offer for you. So the journey really begins at your storefront. Your store listing page is probably the first sort of overall impression a user gets when they come to the Play Store. And the store listing page is something they see at the first acquisition. They might see it again when they're trying to open the app. Believe it or not, a lot of people open the apps they already have installed on their devices from their store listings. And then finally, users who might have uninstalled your app would also come for your store listing and have a look at perhaps new features you're offering on new events that might be running, on new offers that might be attractive for them when you're trying to win them back. So let's talk about all the different tools that we offer to make each one of those store listing impressions count. We know that store listings, custom store listings in particular, and store listing experiments are perhaps some of the most valued and used features in the store presence space. And I'm sure you all know that the way we expect custom store listings to be used is to tailor the landing experience for specific segments of your user base. So if you do have a segment or a few segments, or perhaps a country or a type of user you care about, custom store listings are there to make sure people in that specific group can see the experience you've tailored and designed for them instead of showing the default store listing. And we've had loads of partners embracing the power of custom store listings. And next, we're going to show you a couple of examples of how different apps and different developers are using custom store listings to drive growth. So first example we have is the Pocket FM app. This is the app that originated in India. And what they're offering is a long-form audio content for their users. One of the things they really wanted to do in the past year was to go into the new markets, like United States, Mexico, and Canada. And they realized that the content they've been featuring on their store listing page and the content that worked for India and some of the other markets in APAC was actually not that relevant for the users in the new markets they were trying to break into. So what they've done is they've created over 40 unique custom store listings targeting the countries they were going into, the three mentioned here, and they've seen some significant results just by featuring the content that is relevant to those markets. They've seen 16% increase in unique customers coming through the store listings designed specifically for those markets, and they've seen a significant growth in transactions coming from these markets as well, all of which has been fueled by the fact that they very much tailored the landing experience and didn't just go to default. Next example is the Crunchyroll for all the anime lovers out there. So they, again, are embracing store listings, in particular the ads custom store listings that we've introduced a couple of years ago now, where you can customize landing experience for your paid traffic. So what you can do in the console UI, you can create an ads-targeted custom store listing, and you can link it in your Google Ads account per ad group. And Crunchyroll was trying to understand whether featuring an IP for their paid traffic landing experience would drive better results than bringing users to sort of their default page that's not as IP heavy. And indeed, they've seen significant improvement in lots of metrics. Some of them are just quoted here. They've seen install volumes go up. They've seen install rate going up as well. And as a result, cost per install for their paid traffic has dropped by 17%, which is phenomenal to see. Last but not least, here's an example of Canva. They, again, embraced custom store listings and have created, I think they're currently running 29 custom store listings, if we look at their account. 16 of those listings are performing higher than their default listing, which is what you'd want to achieve. You want to make sure they're performing on par or better. They're using them in a few different ways. This one is the one we haven't touched upon yet today. This is called Search, CSL, Search Custom Store Listings, where you can tailor the landing experience of your users depending on what search keyword they've used to discover your app. So when people come to the Play Store, they might type something in looking for the app, and then you can customize the landing experience depending on what that search keyword or keywords were. In the UI, we're actually offering and suggesting to you what search keywords are specific to your app, what are the actual words users type in order to discover it. So there is a recommendation there already for you. If, however, you have your own list, perhaps the list of keywords you're using on Google Ads, you can type in those in the UI as well, and we will tell you how much traffic those are driving specifically for you, so you can evaluate whether it makes sense to use that keyword or not. And like I said, Canva has done that, and they've seen a significant improvement on conversion rate across a whole range of the custom store listings that they've created. They have also used the ads CSLs, the ones we talked about a little bit earlier, that Crunchyroll has done. And again, they've seen a significant improvement in conversion rate for users who have been brought to the custom store listing instead of going to the default listing page. So like I said, using custom store listings really helps you tailor that landing experience to specific segments of users that you care about. Now that you're confident that the custom store listing is working and is performing on par or better than the default, next step in the journey is to fine-tune it further and make it work even harder for you. So with that, we are revamping the store listing experiments framework, and we're introducing the new flow that hopefully would remove some of the confusion we've seen in a lot of feedback as to what the difference is between custom store listings and store listing experiments. The new flow hopefully is simple. The way we kind of think about it is you would have your default listing, which is something users would see by default unless they're targeted by one of the other listings. You then create custom store listings, one or many, depending on your needs and how you want to segment the audience, whether it's by country, by user state, by ads or search terms, and so forth. You would then want to roll it out to, say, 50% of traffic to ensure that you are achieving the same conversion rate or a better conversion rate than you see on your default listing. Then once you're happy with the results, you would roll it out to 100%, and then you can run store listing experiments on either your default listing or one of your custom store listings. Of course, if you don't want to create custom store listings, absolutely fine too. You can still run store listing experiments on your default listing and make the most just out of that. The other thing we're changing is that we're completely migrating the backend. So all the sort of data platform that's feeding store listing experiments is changing. And we're aligning all the metrics to the metrics that you see in store listing reporting right now. So you might have seen that half a year ago, we've introduced new metrics for store listing reporting. You can now look at acquisitions, opens, and pre-registrations if you run one. And we're bringing those same metrics to store listing experiments as well. So when you do set up experiments, it's no longer first-time installers, which I know didn't work for a lot of people for whom there sort of is a growing user base of those who might have uninstalled the app and are now coming back to it. We're introducing the same metrics that are now available across the entire stack. So hopefully that would give you results faster. They'll be more reliable, and hopefully there'll be an end to more data needed message as well. Yes, I should have noticed that it's actually rolling out before the end of the year in the next 2 or 3 weeks. And with that, I'd like to introduce you to Naz, who will talk about the new feature that will help you capitalize on your biggest moments.
Thanks, Lidia. My name is Naz, and I'm a product lead here on Play. So, once you've optimized your store listing, how do you capture users' attention in an already crowded space? Through richer, more engaging visual formats. Today, I'm really excited to introduce to you a new way you can capture users' attention from the moment that they enter the store. Introducing Spotlights. This isn't just another banner. This is a visually rich, standalone card that sits at the top of App's home, and it is designed to immerse users in new and noteworthy content that is most relevant to them. We envision Spotlights to be a storytelling canvas. Imagine our keystone editorials beautifully amplifying your premier content in this spot. And what's more exciting is that we're actually exploring how to bring partners' very own promotions into this format. So that means that you can showcase some of your biggest moments in a premier and high-impact position. And this is just the beginning. We envision this space to surface the most captivating and relevant content for each Play user across editorials, articles, promotions, and more. So this will create a highly personalized app's home experience for every user, which in turn will give you the most value for your content. So we're in early testing, but initial results are proving that this is a powerful engine to drive growth. So stay tuned. We're also re-envisioning the entire app's details page to be more engaging and intelligent. Our goal is to help you create a more unique and differentiated details page experience, leading to higher impact. So the first feature soon to be rolled out that I want to share with you in this app details page overhaul is the Hero Carousel. Hero Carousel helps bring you more flexibility to showcase your brand. It is a new, full-width hero image carousel that sits at the top of your storefront, and it allows you to showcase your content in a way that more sharply identifies your value and also brings a sense of premier and recognizable quality to your details page. We're excited about the flexibility that Hero Carousel brings, but what's more important is the value that it brings to partners like you. So we put this to the test in our early access program, and the results clearly show that this is more than just a visual upgrade. We saw a 3% increase in the time that users spent engaging with the content on our developer storefront. And what's even more important than this is that this translated into real growth. The carousel proved to be a powerful lever, with several apps increasing installs, some by as much as 3.5%. The next feature soon to roll out in our details page overhaul is YouTube Playlist. YouTube Playlist allows you to pull your video feed from YouTube into a dedicated cluster on your storefront. So this allows you to now showcase your high-impact, already existing videos to more Play users. And again, early results are showing that this is a powerful tool. enrolled partners saw an increase in app installs by 1.8% and a lift in high-quality user acquisitions by nearly 4%, and positive trends in user spending. So, Spotlights, Hero Carousel, and the YouTube playlist are just a few new ways we're bringing you options to showcase your premier content across the store. And specifically, with Hero Carousel and YouTube playlists, we're helping you make your storefront more engaging and dynamic. So, I'll hand it off to Lidia now to talk a little bit more about how you can bring the same level of energy to your promotional content with some new and upcoming features.
Thanks, Naz. Right, so promotional content really remains one of the most powerful and effective tools for you to drive acquisition and re-engagement. And we're making it even better. We've heard a lot of feedback about the form and how it could sometimes be quite confusing to understand what needs to be filled in and what doesn't. So we've made some changes to make it much more of a sort of stepper experience and completely rebuilt the submission flow. It's now much easier for you to find the event that you've run in the past that has worked and copy it across if you'd like to. You can copy all of it. You can copy certain fields. You can also flick through the languages in a much more seamless fashion and add your localizations for that as well. On top of that, we're introducing the new review step at the very end of the process, where before you submit your event, you can kind of see at a glance everything that you've provided, and then once you're happy, submit. We've also introduced a new framework for setting the dates and countries for your events. Again, we've heard a lot of feedback about the fact that sometimes you don't want to run an event in the same event in 15 different markets at exactly the same time. Sometimes the event is related to a holiday that perhaps happens in a slightly different dates in different markets. So in order to allow that and make sure you don't have to use your promotional quota for these events that are the same but slightly varied in terms of start and end date, we've now introduced it as a setup within the same event. So you can choose a market or a group of markets and specify the start and end date for those within a single event, so you only use one quota for that type of event that you're running. And finally, we strongly encourage everyone to try out animations. This is the new creative format that's now supported in promotional content. So it's no longer just a static image. You can try the animations, and partners who have tested it have already seen a significant uplift in engagement that a more sort of dynamic creative is driving. So as you can see here, we saw a 20 to 40% uplift in installs and up to 24% increase in click-through rate as well. Another thing we've introduced last year is targeting for promotional content. So sort of in a similar way in which we are talking about custom store listings and this idea of tailoring the experience to specific groups of users, there's a very similar functionality available within the events and promotional content space. You can already target everyone, but you can also now find a specific audience that you want to go after. And there are broadly two types of audiences you can engage. One is what we call predefined, sort of play-defined audiences. These audiences have been defined for you by us. They're available to use off the shelf, and you can see some of the examples there on the slide. You can either target by user state, so these are people who churned or lapsed. You can target by buyer state. You can target by play points level, and so forth. Like I said, these require no integration at all. You can go ahead and use this targeting already in the UI today. The other type of targeting is customized targeting, which gives you much more opportunity to go very granular and tell us exactly who you want to target. But we'll touch upon it in a second. So one of the things we've heard in the feedback after we've introduced the play-defined audiences was that some of them were perhaps a bit too granular, and you actually wanted to target lapsed and churned users together. So we have introduced that. You can now target both of these groups as part of one targeting setting. And we have indeed seen significant improvement in conversion rate for developers who have tried that, where it's gone up to 1.25%. which is fantastic improvement. It also gives you an ability to win back the users, whether those who have stopped using the app but still have it installed or those who have uninstalled it. Now, coming back to the second, much more flexible option of who you want to target with your promotional content. It's also something we've introduced earlier this year, and this is what's called custom audiences within the console UI. So custom audiences allow you to tell us exactly who you want to target. And here are just some of the examples of what you might want to go after. For example, you want to target someone who has watched certain content within your app, someone who has progressed to a certain level, someone who, as part of the sign-up process, has specified what their goal is within their fitness regime. You also might want to target users who are not just lapsed to churn based on the definitions we as Play defined. You might want to target somebody who has been inactive for 15 days or 3 days or 17, depending on how your strategy works out. And we do allow that. There are broadly 2 ways in which you can create those custom audiences. The one here on the left is via grouping API. There's also integration of PGS in case there are any game developers here as well. And what this allows you to do, it allows you to tag users. Now, this type of targeting would not work for your previous users, so this is sort of only a forward-looking targeting. But what this allows you to do, it allows you to integrate with the API and then tag a user upon the first time they've opened the app. Once the user has this tag attached to them, you can then share those tags with us, and then we can find this user for you across different Google Play surfaces and target promotional content at them. The other type of targeting for the custom audiences is what we call CSV, what is it called in the UI? Email lists, I believe it's called, where you can share a CSV of email lists with us. So if you do gather email addresses for your users as part of the sign-up process, you can submit the list of emails to us. We can then process and match that list to the email that users use to log into Play. And if the 2 match, we can then target this user again across different Play surfaces with the promotional content that you've designed for them. Now, finally, we keep introducing all these new different types of content and are asking you to partake, hoping that that would drive engagement and revenue growth for you. And we appreciate that it's quite a lot of work. So we've tried to make this process easier for you, to make it easier for you to participate in those opportunities with as little investment from your end as possible. So what we've built, what we're called Asset Library, which is sort of a centralized single tool within the Play console through which you can upload and manage your assets and reuse some of your graphics assets for different purposes. We've also integrated Google Drive. So if you do store your creatives for different campaigns in Google Drive, there is no longer a need to download them to your desktop and then re-upload them to Play console. You can connect the 2 and pull them directly from your Google Drive folder. We also enable tagging and searching capabilities for the assets, so you can organize them in whichever way you like. You might want to tag them with a certain campaign name, and then you can sort of pull those assets separately and see which ones have been used for a specific campaign. And like I said, another thing we wanted to solve with this is the ability to help you participate in all the different experiments and opportunities that Play has to offer. So we've introduced the cropping functionality, where if we do come up with a new creative and slightly new format and slightly new shape, you can take an existing asset you've already uploaded to us, recrop it to the new size we're requiring, and partake in the experiment right away. Now, with all of these different changes and all the things that are happening, we appreciate it's sometimes quite hard to keep track how all of the actions you are taking are actually contributing to the overall growth. I believe that was shown in the keynote, so we're just going to talk about it in a little bit more detail. This is the new Grow Overview page, which we believe should be sort of a single point of entry across the entire user lifecycle and your understanding of it. And indeed, if you look at the top row and all the metrics that are shown there, it's very much designed as a progression of the user from the moment they've installed your app, so the acquisition, to the moment they first opened it, to the moment they start engaging with it, and then being retained through a 7-day retention metric that's at the end. As you can also see, this space would now show you the impact of all the actions you're taking. And as an example here, we're talking about extra acquisitions that your promotional activity has driven. And then finally, at the bottom of the page, or sort of second half of the page, there are recommendations of the things you perhaps would like to consider and try and integrate, again, sort of sorted by the stage of the life cycle. And you might have noticed there are two new metrics we've introduced here as well. One is the first opens. Again, we've heard a lot of feedback about, well, we know everything about acquisitions, but what really matters is whether users are opening it for the first time. Are they engaging? Do they do anything post they install? So the first open metric will show you how many of those acquisitions actually proceeded to go and open the app. And then finally, the 7-day retention metric, again, helps you understand whether any of those users are actually sticking and still engaging with the app they've opened for the first time 7 days later. And then finally, again, something I think has been mentioned in the keynote was that we've integrated a Gemini that's already available in the console UI to help you make sense of the data. So if there is a time series chart you're looking at and you're not quite sure what that spike or drop might be, you can ask Gemini to describe this chart for you, and it will have all the contextual awareness of all the different promotional activities you've run, different releases you've made. So it would help you make sense of the data you're seeing in front of you, talk about occurring events or anything like that that might have caused different movements in the data. And we hope that that would be helpful for you to understand how the fluctuations are occurring and what might be triggering them. So we've talked about the tools that help you convert users who come to the store, but of course the step before that is discovery. And so I'll hand it over to Naz to talk about all the innovation that's happening on the Play Store within the discovery space. There you go.
Thanks, Lidia. So, as Lidia said, we're continuing to expand coverage for our content-seeking queries in the store. Earlier this year, we actually expanded coverage for our media and entertainment content. So now, users can search which platform is featuring their favorite TV shows and movies. And recently, we also expanded our content to sports, starting with American football and European football. Or let me rephrase that. Starting with American football and actual football. Now, our users can actually search for their favorite teams on match day right here on Play. And our goal is to expand in these priority verticals and also to grow in more content areas so that Play can become the go-to destination for our users to search for information about our apps and what's inside of them. Our results are now interactive. Whether a user is wondering what your app is about before they install, or if they're wondering how to make that magic happen after they've been using your app for a while, we want Play to be a place where users trust us to answer their questions. We're using state-of-the-art Gemini capabilities to bring multi-turn interaction models to Play later this year. And we're also serving developer-provided videos to answer user queries. So make sure that you keep your YouTube videos updated so that your voice is the one that's answering our users' most pressing questions. We've introduced a dramatically better voice search experience that takes advantage of state-of-the-art natural language processing to make text-free searching better and easier than ever. We're also deepening our integration with core Gemini capabilities to make this experience more interactive and enjoyable. Powerful discovery tools like these are key in connecting you to new users. But getting that install is just the first step. True success comes from building loyalty and keeping users coming back. So we're creating new ways for you to engage with users on Play and beyond. Our goal is to help all users engage with the apps and content that best fuel their needs and interests. So to do this, we're continuing to expand our curated spaces across some of the biggest global fandoms. By surfacing app-related content, like articles, media, timely info, right in Play, we're making it easier than ever for users to discover the content that is most important to them. We started with curated spaces for football in Brazil, cricket in India, and comics in Japan. And we just recently launched an entertainment-dedicated space in Korea, with plans for a fast follow in the US. This new entertainment-dedicated space will provide fans with exclusive editorials curated by our in-house teams, which will give users an inside track to trending topics. For instance, fans of 17, one of K-pop's biggest bands, will have access to exclusive tour merchandise, concert tickets, and stories behind their newest music videos, right on Play, all in celebration of their 10th anniversary and upcoming world tour. So creating these tailored experiences with passionate fan bases is a powerful way for you to drive engagement. To prove the success of this model, let me take a little bit of a deeper dive with you on Comic Space. So Comic Space is a new way for fans to discover and sample graphic novels and comics. It lets users dive into new worlds and connect with their favorite fan bases. This is also a powerful tool for our publishers to connect to new audiences and re-engage with existing fans by showcasing their content outside of their app. Now, of course, these new experiences are only as useful as the value that they bring to partners like you. Shortly after Comic Space launched, monthly active users reached 1 million, with 30% of these users returning on a weekly basis. And the average time spent on Play also increased by 24%, demonstrating that users more deeply engage with this type of creative content. And most importantly, Comic Space drove value for our partners, increasing store-wide installs by 6%, app opens by 25%, and app spend by 18%. Now, Comic Space is more than just a place to read comics. It can be a powerful tool to reach new markets and make cultural connections. We have seen partners tackle big challenges, like how to enter into new priority markets with Comic Space. So let's take Canva's innovative approach in Japan, for instance. Canva's goal was to increase their monthly active users by 3x. And they knew that in order to do this, they would have to connect with the Japanese market in a culturally relevant way. So they creatively stepped out of their design-designated category, and they partnered with the legendary Koro Koro Comics to create their own bespoke manga. By showcasing this original manga on Comic Space, Canva was able to tap into an already existing and passionate fan base. And the results were phenomenal. This campaign generated 13 million impressions, and it led to nearly 7,000 new installs. And it boosted their week-over-week growth in consumer spending by 43%. So this is a powerful illustration about how thinking creatively about your content and how you distribute it on Play can drive significant growth in a new market. Due to the success of Comic Space in Japan, we are now expanding this to the US. So soon, US fans of comics can also consume this exciting content right here on Play. Now, Connecting with users on the content that they're passionate about is key to building loyalty. But it doesn't just have to be about comics. People are just as passionate about the TV shows and movies that they love. I can't tell you how many times I have gone to bat for a TV show or a movie that I've been obsessed with. And that's really the idea that we anchored on here. We've used what we learned in the past from our previous curated spaces, the user readiness, the passion, the content consumption behavior, and we've now built a new go-to destination for discovery. So I'm excited to introduce to you our new entertainment space, which just recently launched in Korea, and we plan on having several of these elements expand to new markets over time. This curated destination brings together a varied mix of media and entertainment content, from TV shows, movies, to short-form dramas. We want to create a go-to destination that allows users to discover new shows, engage with old favorites, and connect with some of entertainment's biggest moments. So entertainment space is designed to have several different elements, or what we call clusters, that group together the same type of media and entertainment content. So the first cluster I want to go over with you today is the drama shorts cluster. Now, short-form drama has had astronomical growth. This genre has exploded with a 13x increase in year-over-year engagement. So, to keep up with this growth, we partnered with top studios like DramaBox and Real Short to bring their best professionally produced series right to Play. So now users can actually watch several free episodes right in the store without ever having to download or install an app. They get to have an immersive, seamless, and full video experience with key features like autoplay and gestural navigation. And if they get hooked, they can keep watching the full series by downloading the app and having flexible pay-as-you-go or subscription options. Next, we have a Webtoons cluster. So building off of the success of Comic Space in Japan, we're now bringing Webtoons to the US and Korea. This new experience, created in partnership with some of the industry giants like Kakao and Naver, allows fans to sample exciting new chapters in a vertical format that is optimized for the phone. You just click and swipe, and you dive into new worlds. So this is just another way we're helping you connect with passionate fan bases on Play. And finally, we have the trending cluster. So we know that connecting with culturally big moments is a huge part of entertainment. The trending section helps users quickly identify and sample the biggest trending shows and movies that everyone is talking about. We've collaborated with major streaming partners like HBO Max and Peacock in the US, and partners like TVing, Watcha, and Coupang Play in Korea to bring users behind-the-scenes clips, trailers, movie samples, and even free videos. So these curated destinations, from comics to entertainment, they're just the beginning of how we're trying to create more topical experiences on Play. With billions of users with varied passions, you can expect to see us spotlighting more interests across more countries. So, if you think that you have engaging content like this that Play users would love to sample, let us know and reach out to us, because this is the direction that we're headed in. So now, I'd like to hand it off to Cullen to dive a little bit deeper into engagement. Thanks.
Thanks, Naz. Hey, everybody. I'm Cullen. I'm a product manager with the Play Apps team. So these curated spaces are a really fantastic way to connect people with the things they're passionate about. And we're always exploring new ways to bring the most helpful and engaging content from apps directly to users. In September, we launched the U tab, a new top-level destination in Play. For users, it's a personalized hub to see content from apps and games across their devices. And for developers, it transforms Google Play into a powerful re-engagement tool. A surface designed to drive users back into your app after the install. And this opens up some new opportunities to showcase your app's best content. For our initial launch, the U tab features 3 types of content from apps for users that already have your app installed. First, promotional content to highlight your timely events and offers. Next, the What to Watch cluster to highlight video content and trailers from your existing store listing. And then finally, personalized recommendations and continuation content powered by Engage SDK. For your promotional content in the What to Watch cluster, there's no new work required. The space will automatically include the offers you submit to Play Console and the trailers you upload for your store listing. But now, let's talk about that third content type, personalized recommendations and continuation journeys from Engage SDK. This content is unique because it's sourced directly from your app, enabling one-to-one user engagement. And this capability extends beyond the U tab, and it's part of a broader goal for Google Play, helping you connect with your users not just on Play, but across the entire Android ecosystem. Engage SDK is a unified solution to grow engagement by putting your personalized content in front of your users before they open your app. We've been steadily expanding its reach. Last year, we launched Engage SDK content on collections in the US. And this year, we brought collections to 12 more countries, and we brought Engage content directly into the Play Store. That means now, with a single integration, you can bring your personalized content to users across collections, entertainment space, the Play Store apps and U tab, and for media and entertainment partners, Google TV. And for our launch partners, our first US experiment to surface this content in the Play Apps tab drove a 14% increase in app opens from already installed apps, and a massive 51% increase for the users that were exposed to the feature. And there's plenty of room to grow from here. We're already working to boost the feature's visibility, expand to more countries, and onboard more partners. And we're seeing this translate into real-world value for our partners. Pinterest, for example, is showing promising early results. In the first month, they generated over 2 million monthly impressions just by surfacing their content in the Play Store. And more importantly, it's driving real engagement. Pinterest saw a 5.5% average click-through rate on their content, showing that users aren't just seeing the content, they're interested in taking action. So we designed Engage SDK with developers' needs in mind. It's a simple client-side integration that adds just 50 kilobytes to the average APK. And most importantly, it's low effort and scalable. Integrating typically takes about a week of development time, and after that, it's set and forget. You can automatically repurpose the content from your the home screen of your app, and update content daily. No additional work required. And wherever your content appears, will seamlessly guide users directly into your relevant in-app experience. So you can use Engage SDK to create a direct channel to your users, turning casual downloads into active, engaged fans. You can attract users back with personalized recommendations like social posts, timely deals, or recently viewed items. And one of the most powerful ways you can use Engage SDK is to help them effortlessly pick up where they left off in your app, whether that be an in-progress podcast, the next comic in a series, or even jumping back into an open shopping cart. You can reduce the friction to re-engagement, making jumping into your app a no-brainer. And for our media and entertainment partners, Engage SDK is a single integration to bring continuation, recommendations, and user entitlements across Android. Today, I'll spotlight continuation. By integrating, you can surface your continue watching content across the Play Store, Collections, Entertainment Space, and Google TV. Engage SDK is the powerful next iteration of Google TV's client-side Play Next API, except it's designed to do two things better: scale across Android and power cross-device continuation. Why is this critical? We've found multi-device watchers generate 20% more watch time. Imagine pausing a movie on a Google TV and then instantly resuming it on any other Android device, whether it be a phone, a tablet, or another TV. And the benefits are clear. In Google TV's A/B tests, partners have seen up to 5% more watch time just by bringing their content to the continue watching row. And now that the content can also appear in the Play Store, you have another channel to drive re-engagement on mobile. So if you're ready to grow your app's engagement, visit our business site here to see how easy it is to integrate with Engage SDK. So as you saw today, Google Play is more than just a distribution platform. We're a partner in your growth. From revamped custom store listings, to high-impact spotlights to attract new users, to Engage SDK to build lasting loyalty. We're providing an integrated suite of tools to help you succeed at every stage of the user lifecycle. And we're excited about the future we're building together. So we invite you to explore Play Console to find these new tools, start experimenting, and see the impact for yourselves.